Hello everyone, my name is Fred, and in this video, I'll show you how to create stylized grass in Unreal Engine 5. This is the first part of the video, where I'll explain how to properly set up the project and apply virtual textures for the landscape. We'll fully configure the project in Unreal Engine 5 and create stylized grass in 15 minutes. Let's go! Let's start by creating the project. I just open Unreal, and you can see there are many ready-made templates here, but for this video, I'll use third person to clearly demonstrate the grass visuals from a third-person perspective. Let's name our project Stylized Grass, and note that I'm not using the starter content because it significantly increases the project's size. When everything is ready, just click the Create button and go make some tea or coffee, because the most interesting part is ahead. The project has compiled, and to start, I want to get rid of the basic geometry. I simply select all unnecessary static objects in the outliner on the left and delete them. But we'll leave the cubes, they bounce off the character nicely. Let's switch to landscape mode to create a basic floor for our project. In the section size settings, we can choose the scale for our location. I'll say in advance that you can increase the location size at any time, so it's not particularly important what size you choose at the start. For this video, I want to create something small because it's a demonstration view. Once you've decided on the settings, click the Create button. Right now, it's just a flat plane, so let's add some curves to it. This is all done in landscape mode as well. I just select the sculpting tool and create various irregularities. Using the Smooth tool, you can smooth out sharp areas to get smoother transitions. I just combine brushes and create a small piece of landscape. Let's push the cubes around a bit for good luck. And okay, now I want to organize the hierarchy in the project a bit and create several folders to avoid getting confused with the files. This will help you if your grass experiment grows into something bigger. I create a folder named Projects, where I'll have folders for the map itself, for textures and materials. For now, this will be enough. In the Textures folder, I upload 3 main textures for our background. I'll leave all the files on our open Discord server Stylized Craft. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Okay, now let's create a new material, which I call Landscape, and immediately drag our textures there. First, I add one of the most important functions, Landscape Layer Blend. This function will help us paint with our textures and blend them with each other. Go to the function settings and enter the name of the first texture in the name field. I advise you to duplicate the texture naming in the layer names so you don't get confused in the function settings later. When the first layer is ready, I just click the plus button to add a new layer and name it after the texture as well. We do the same for the remaining textures. There can be many of them, so I recommend duplicating the naming so you don't get confused with the textures if you want to improve your project. Now just connect the RGB channel of each texture with the corresponding layer in our landscape function. I accidentally created an extra layer, so I'll just delete it to avoid having an extra channel in the landscape node. Next, drag the node into the base color channel of the main function. Let's add the texture coordinate function, which will help us manage the scale of our textures. With this function, you can increase or decrease the tiling of your textures. Now just connect the texture coordinate nodes with the UV channels of our textures. You can create many texture coordinate functions for each texture to have its unique tiling and thus mix the size when painting. Let's return to the main material node and add a simple parameter with a value of 0. I'm setting these parameters for the roughness and specular channels so they don't affect our material and are disabled. Next, we add a vector3 constant, where we leave only the blue color. Just set the value of the B channel to 1. The next function is transform, which I connect to our blue color and output it to the normal channel. This node will help us get rid of the black artifact on our future grass. With this, our landscape material is ready, and we are ready to start painting our background. Let's convert the master material into a material instance. I immediately adjust the naming to avoid confusing the materials later. Now we need to attach the material instance to our landscape so everything starts working. You can simply select each tile of your landscape and apply your material to each piece in the outliner on the left. But this might not be very convenient if you have a large number of landscape sections. So I just select all the elements in the outliner and find this tab called Landscape Material. We enable it and insert our material instance there. Now our landscape has turned black, and that's completely normal, that's how it should be. Let's switch back to landscape mode. This time we're interested in the paint section. At the very bottom, we need to click the button to create layers from our material, and our painting layers will immediately appear. To start painting the landscape, you need to click on each plus icon and select the weight blend layer value. By default, Unreal creates a folder where the information with our layers will be stored, but I want to create a separate folder where I'll save all our layers so as not to get confused in the project. Following this principle, we go through each layer and just click the plus sign and add it to the folder. In the future, if you add new textures to the landscape material, don't forget to also calculate the layers and add them to the folder with these layers. Okay, we see that the first grass layer has filled the entire landscape space, and it's clear that the texture tiling is too high. Let's check the second grass layer. And yes, it looks visually strange, so we need to reduce the texture tiling in the landscape material. For this, I just open the material and go to the texture coordinate function settings. In the UV tiling parameters, simply reduce the value to 0.1 and click Save. It's much better now, but I want to enlarge the textures more because the background color should resemble spots. Change the value to 0.01 and save the changes. Yes, it looks much better now, and we can return to landscape mode and start painting our background. Using the dirt texture, we can draw the direction of the path, and with the other two grass textures, create more contrasting transitions. To make the textures blend more smoothly with each other, I use brush settings. You can control the overlay degree, brush size, and its intensity. Now I just want to add a few dark spots to diversify the overall grass texture. In my opinion, this will look more interesting and voluminous. Painting the landscape is one of the most important things when creating an environment in Unreal Engine, and it's the first step that needs to be set up. After painting the background, we've finished the main stage, and I think we've done a great job. Let's add a new folder to our project. I'll just call it Mesh. In this folder, I upload the grass model, and I will also attach this file to the general archive, which will be on our Discord server via the link in the description. Immediately delete the generated material, we don't need it. This is just a small assembly of planes, for which we will now create a simple material. But to make our grass look familiar, I add a black and white texture to create a mask, which will also be in the archive with the files for this video. Let's go to the materials folder and create another material, which we'll just call grass. Okay, let's open the material and first of all, go to the main node settings. The first thing I do is enable double-sided rendering and change the blend mode to masking. Next, we search for the word normal and disable the tangent space normals parameter. If it's enabled, there will be terrible artifacts, so make sure to turn this parameter off. The first thing we need is to enable the specular and roughness channels, so we create two constants with a value of 0 and connect them to the corresponding parameters. Now, let's add a vector 3 constant. And as in the landscape material example, we need to set the value to 1 in the B channel to get a pure blue color. Now, let's add the toSend and multiply nodes. The toSend node will go into the B channel, and the blue color into the A channel of our multiply. Connect the resulting node to the normal channel and now add a new virtual texture function that doesn't have the parameter suffix. This is very important. Just note that this function is green. Connect the RVT to the base color channel, and right now we don't have RVT textures, but we'll come back to this material later. For now, just save it. The next step is to add virtual textures. For this, I create a new folder in the project with a simple name. Just right-click on an empty field and select the texture section. In the center of the section is the runtime virtual texture function. Add it to the scene and name this function RVT color. Let's open it and set the settings. The first settings are responsible for the quality of the virtual texture. I set the parameter to 2K. Next, go to the tiling settings and set it to 512. Make sure that in the virtual texture content section you have these exact settings. The function for the RVT color is ready, so I just save it and close it. Now we need to create a second function for height. In the same way as with the first function, add another RVT texture and name it RVT height. Open the settings and also set the first value to 2K and the second to 512. Next, we need to replace this parameter with world height. This is really important, so be careful. When everything is ready, save and close the function. Now we've set the values for our RVT textures, and now we need to bind them to our landscape. But first, we need to create two volumes. Just go here and add a volume for the RVT texture. It appeared in the scene and is now floating in the air. We need to apply it to our landscape. Let's find our volume in the list of objects in the outliner on the left and name it RVT color. In the volume settings, there's a separate slot for the virtual texture, where we drag our color texture. To set the volume's impact boundaries, you can use the eyedropper tool. Just click the eyedropper on our landscape and press the Set Bounds button. My landscape consists of tiles, so the application happened to a specific section. To apply it to the entire landscape, open the Actors section and find the folder with the landscape. Then press Set Bounds and everything is ready. Following this principle, we need to create a volume for height. First, add a volume to the scene. Then name it RVT height and drag our RVT texture into the corresponding slot. Note that I'm now dragging the height texture because we're setting up the volume specifically for height. Next, apply our volume to the entire landscape area and press the Set Bounds button. Our virtual texture volumes are set up, and now we just need to activate them in the landscape settings. Just find our landscape folder in the outliner and go to the settings. We're interested in the Virtual Textures tab, where we add two slots for our textures. In the first, we insert the color map, and in the second slot, we insert the height map. Congratulations, we've connected the RVT textures. It's time to return to our materials and apply them. I open the grass material and in the RVT function, select the color map. Save the material and create a material instance for it. When the material instance is ready, we can assign it to our 3D grass model. Let's go to the Meshes folder and open the static mesh for the grass. In the material slot, we select our material instance and save the changes. The next thing we need to create is a foliage type for the grass. Just right-click on an empty space and look for the foliage section, where we select Static Mesh Foliage. We name it Grass and proceed to the settings. First, we add our static mesh of grass here or scroll down to the settings. To achieve a stylized look, we need to disable all shadow parameters. This is a very important condition for stylization. When everything is ready, just save and switch to foliage mode. To start placing grass in the scene, you need to drag our specific foliage type into this area. Let's go to the foliage settings and adjust the scale for our grass. In the Size X section, we can increase or decrease the size of the generated grass. I just raise this value to 2 so the grass is a bit larger. To start painting with grass, just switch to paint mode and seed our background with grass. I want to leave the central part empty because there will be a path there. If you need to erase excess grass, just switch to eraser mode and remove unnecessary pieces of grass from the background. As you can see, our grass lacks characteristic leaves. I just forgot to add the mask map to the material. Let's fix that. I go back to the grass material and simply drag the mask map into the material. Connect it to the opacity mask channel. Don't confuse it with the regular opacity channel. And now our grass looks more like what we need. But these black shadow artifacts look wrong. Let's go back to the grass material and uncheck the Decided and Cast Ray Traced Shadows parameters in the main node. And also save the changes in our material. Yes, that's what we need. Now the virtual textures work correctly and we've achieved a hand-painted stylized visual. And most importantly, we've prepared and set up our project for further actions. Let's kick some cubes and see the result. Right now, the grass isn't very voluminous and this is just a test version. In the next part of the video, I'll show you how to properly model 3D grass, and we'll write a more complex shader with full settings for color, animation, and much more, like in my personal project. Let's gather 200 likes on this video and I'll immediately release a new video with an advanced grass shader. Don't forget to like this video to speed up the release of the next part. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Well, I wish you creative success. This was Fred, see you soon.